Welcome to Pax Europiana. Yesterday was the big summit in Berlin between President Vucic and Prime Minister Kurti. And let me just sum up my conclusions of this. This was very good, it took place, and it was also very clear that the Germans have given a clear message. But it's not good enough, a clear message. The independence of Kosovo should be the result, and it's already existing since 2008. Yeah? The recognition of Kosovo by Serbia should be the result in the process. Yes, all fine, but there was no doubt that this should be the result in any case. Yeah, if it's a surprise for Serbia, then yeah, whatever. I cannot help them. But the situation is there must be a clear message towards Serbia that the candidate status will be suspended if they don't comply, and that is the one thing. And then a clear offer, because just stating the obvious, yeah, is probably not enough. You have to make a one very clear threat. That is no to the candidate status. Serbia will be isolated if it doesn't comply with the recognition of the Republic of Kosovo, and Serbia will also be completely isolated. No financial support from the EIP man. No, nothing. On the one hand, or it will get something really concrete. Because Vucic, and I'm not a very big fan of Mr. Vucic, but he needs to also go home in the case of recognition with something tangible. Vague promise of maybe future in the EU, that's not good enough. Yeah? There must be something concrete which he can sell, where he can overcome the revolution which the Serb nationalists who are listening to this video, they will certainly prepare, backed by the Russian backers. So there will be a really wild upheaval. Remember what happened in February 2008 in Belgrade, yeah? When they almost stormed the American embassy. Yeah? And then remember what happened in October 2008 at the recognition of Kosovo in Macedonia and in Montenegro. So this element in the population is there in Serbia, and they are backed by Russia. The Russian embassy will go in hyper mode, fund everybody and agitate fully. And obviously there is this, whatever, 1/3 of the population which is completely fanatic on the question of Kosovo, and they will have to be somehow subdued, confronted, and there must be offer to the 2/3 who just want to have a better life and want to be in European Union. I'm sure it's about 2/3, maybe it's only half of them, but they have to get something. They have to have something. There must be some tangible result. And to my best knowledge of these last 30 years I'm working on Serbia, that's only the currency we can give immediately. We cannot give NATO membership because that's really much more complicated, and Serbia has to change, and they also don't really want at the moment. But that's the next step. And EU membership is also not a process you can immediately trap anybody into. Yeah? Of course it was done for the Eastern Germans. Yes, but that was a bit of a different case. Yeah? So it is the case that this will take some years, yeah? And so that's also a process with a lot of compliance and criteria and fulfillment and so on. It can be done by 2029, and that should be also made clear in a written proposal for both countries and for Bosnia, for all three, for all countries, also for Ukraine, for Moldova, for Georgia, and for Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro. But Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro are basically ready in all main criteria. Yeah? You never will be 100% ready, but in all main criteria they are ready. So they can be very fast. But Bosnia, Kosovo, and Bosnia, Serbia, and Montenegro, the three countries are one package, because otherwise they would block each other then inside. So it must be 2029. And that's what Germany needs to be done. Needs to do now, and that's the way to make peace in the Balkans. And of course it's very good, Council of Europe. Nobody mentioned the WTO. Okay, it was very good they were sitting in a room. Of course it was very good that there was a lot of interest, but we are now not in the stage of interest, or in the stage of, very good, they had a meeting, it's not a zoo, they sit together, what a success. No, this is not the way. We must have concrete, tangible results towards peace at that stage. And here the offer must be very clearly made for the euro, for Serbia, and for Bosnia, for the recognition, fast track, and a big financial package, which is, this Ukraine Recovery Fund. Mrs. van der Leyen has spoken now. It must be now made a big European Recovery Fund, like we had it 2 years ago, and we will issue common European debt in the level of 1.5 trillion. And in this package, also the appropriate resources to develop Serbia, Kosovo, Bosnia, and to buy peace, basically, must be also included. I have made many proposals of the Highway for Peace deal already. For Bosnia, 5 billion for the highway system in the next years in order to get the Kosovo recognition and the NATO membership and the EU membership and the euro introduced and so on and so on. And that's the deal. And then we suddenly get moving and then it's results. And that's the appropriate answer to the war and not what we are currently doing, because we are doing much too little, mostly too late. And then we are happy if we do what we have done, should have done 10 years ago. We do it now, and then everybody is happy. That's not good enough. Good. But anyhow, it was a good meeting. Let's not be too critical, but much more must be coming from Germany in that sense. Thanks a lot. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.